I am DM CMNG.
And I am Master Shenlo.
And together we are
Deep Sector. Yeah, returning once again with our friend
Dre Eternal.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, brother.
It's a pleasure.
Tell us a little about yourself, where you're from.
First
you know what I'm saying? Who you are or who you call yourself.
Hold on,
First
let
of
me
all.
pour up real quick.
Yeah, he's like, let's take the shot first.
Buenos dias, cabrones. Let's
Buenos dias. Órale.
go. Beep, beep. Oh,
We mixing.
good morning.
Yeah.
Morning.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess you could really, objectively, you can look at me as a small town farm boy. You know, I kind of didn't really exactly. Damn. Tequila first thing in the morning will do you.
Woo, yeah.
Although I didn't exactly grow up on a farm, on a ranch, I had the opportunity because of family members that had them. The way I grew up is mostly kind of, I've always been on my own, yet I've always had the biggest family and friend and support groups. Just because of the small town, everyone was so friendly and so knit together. But I've always found myself kind of just like always wandering off and exploring this and that, especially because we always had like a bunch of forests and wooded areas and a lot of rural areas to this small town in the middle of the mountains, Colorado. So I've always been kind of a curious adventurer type, and then as I kept growing up and being more social and talking to people, discovering the things I like and the mutual things that other people like, mutual interest. Let me slow myself down. Sometimes I talk too much and then I don't get to what I'm trying to get.
Nah, man, it sounds like you definitely got a lot to say, so just get it out, and it's your story, culmination.
I started karate and kung fu at like 6 and 7.
Okay, so you know multiple styles then. Okay.
I also started dancing around 10 and 12, just doing some whatever movements I could, because my body just like, every time I'd hear certain types of music, I just wanted to move. I just wanted to let it out and express myself.
That's awesome.
When I hear music, it makes me dance.
Exactly.
You gotta wake up your body, and move it around.
Here we go. So I've always known I had this special connection to music, but also with how I use my body through martial arts and dancing, which is interesting.
They're like cousins almost, I swear.
Oh yeah, the Russians know what they're doing, teaching people about ballet and Krav Maga. Like that shit's some survival. Get your shit.
Russians are dangerous.
Oh yeah,
I ain't gonna lie,
dangerous
man.
in the blood. You cut them and that shit will sizzle on your skin.
For real. It might burn through. Leave some freaking blisters or something. At least.
Fucking put that in a shot and drink it.
Bro, like Russian.
The Russian blood. I'm trying not to talk about other people because other people were a big influence on me and whatnot. But the thing is, ever since I moved here last summer, I've been starting to live more for myself and rediscovering who I was, who I am, and who I want to be. And a lot of it definitely has to do with artistic expression, musical expression, dance and martial art expression, or really any sense of expression. Everybody's got this little light of talent and creativity and uniquity inside of them. But I've also noticed, even in a tiny, tiny town, that not everybody gets to bring that out into the world, especially the ones that have a particularly unique skill set of artistic expression. Like, I've got one friend. I love this guy so much because he's so dang sophisticated in his mind, but doesn't even know it. He listens to this funky-ass, I wouldn't even call it music. It's really just an amalgamation and collection of sounds meant to put your brain in altered states or make you feel things. Like, he once sent me a link. He's like, hey man, this track right here is basically a simulation of what it feels like to have dementia. I listened to that shit and I was like, whatever. And I listened to it with some more intention, with some more purpose to understand. And actually, when I started to feel my connection to that song and the frequencies that were playing, I was like, this is not music.
I'd be
but
kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, I might get dementia from this.
it's causing me. It's causing me to kind of like depersonalize from who I am into something else, which was interesting. That actually happened with this, not a song, but a collection of frequencies. And he listens to this on the casual. This is his stuff. Every time we're hanging out and I drive him up here for 2 hours, this guy he's probably a really good podcast guest for sure. 'Cause
Let us know, yeah.
when he talks about the stuff, this music stuff, psychological music stuff that he talks about, he gets so fine-tuned and passionate about it. You know, when people really talk about things they really care about, you know they care about that shit because it's coming straight from the heart. And he also does this welding stuff, but he doesn't give a fuck about functional welding. He just wants to create little pieces of art out of spoons and whatnot. So he's definitely like a pretty strange character. And I want to be able to support him and people like him to be able to continue to express themselves and just basically have more resources.
Does he make those collection of sounds then? Like,
he could, honestly. He just listens to it and collects vinyls and stuff like that. But if I gave him the opportunity to produce some stuff, maybe so. All right, back to me. Production and music, that's pretty fun too. This shot kicked in pretty good.
he's like, I'm feeling good. Hey.
ADHD is getting all like, let's go. So what was I? Karate, kung fu, dancing, martial arts. So it's always been a part of me. Dragon Ball Z is a big staple of my characters. You know, it's fucking resilient. You know, if you're about to fucking die, you pick up that little piece of hope in your heart and it just Super Saiyan God right there comes out of you in your very last moments of struggling and survival. And so you got to power up. Push through. So in middle school, high school, as I started to discover more about myself and my character, I continued with the martial arts and the dancing. I started doing boxing in middle school, and that kept up all throughout high school, as well as track and field, just because I knew that sport would like give me the skill sets I needed to do parkour and whatnot. So
so you do parkour too?
here I am in the city trying to reawaken that stuff. And then when it came to friends and social groups, I never really found myself caring too much about what I wanted, but I always wanted to support other people and what they like and whatnot. There was a bunch of creative people in my school too, so I was always around them, talking about what they enjoyed, the artists, the paintings, the clay sculptures, the Dungeons and Dragons world creating, the other dancers in the hip hop group. You name it. You know, I'm always around people with creative tendencies because, you know, maybe honestly I don't think I'm much of a creative person, but I've also, like many people, not been given many opportunities to explore which styles of artistry or artistic expression speaks for you, because I know there's some welders who also makes sculptures like these statues up here, or maybe even some kind of sign, and that's their form of creative expression. So, you know, it can be within a painting or a clay sculpture or a metal work through welding and whatnot. Everybody's got their piece. Where I'm most creative, though, is definitely when it comes to the idea of creating a business empire, honestly. Like, I just want to pursue this entrepreneurship as hard as I can. And start my own business, be my own boss, start a company, and then run this company in a completely different way than most other corporations and companies are running. Because I've had like a shit ton of jobs on purpose since I graduated to explore all these work fields and work conditions. Because for the average person, that's what life is. It's work. You just got to work, pay your bills. So I'm trying to have the most fun with it and exploring all these industries. Like, I've been slowing myself down because if I talk too fast, I'll stumble. My first job, I was a janitor, and after that, what did I do after that? I was doing...
You don't remember?
I was like 16. That was like 8 years ago.
So that was a long time ago, man.
Long time ago. When I was young.
Right. We're going to be saying that our whole life. 70 years old. Sorry, back when I was just a little skipper.
I was younger, says the 20-some-year-old guy. Doing deliveries for Domino's, and then I discovered my love for automotive engineering and mechanics, and because I was just driving a shit ton, busting up my car, and having no money to fix it. So I got up in there myself. I'm like, wow, I love this wrench and shit. I could probably fucking study this enough and then make my own car at some point. But then I'm like, do I really want to do that? Fuck no.
See?
I just kept going. And I worked at an airport, tossing luggage into an airplane. That shit was pretty... I'm only not complaining about it because it was badass in the winter when we had these blizzards and the snowstorms would come through and we absolutely have to get this airplane loaded and off the ground flying with these passengers waiting to get to their fucking Thanksgiving or Christmas family 3 hours, 4 hours away. Luckily, the company provided us with uniforms that could sustain the blizzards and the cold weather, so there's no complaints on that shit. You just be fucking trudging and working in that just unsupportive environment. To me, it was really badass when I got to see this big-ass 747 plane. It's one of the biggest ones, and then this big-ass gigantic truck, almost the same size as the airplane, a fucking truck. What this truck does is spray this, like, glycerol juice, kind of like vape juice type of stuff on there onto the plane. It's all orange. You just see this gigantic spray of orange going all over the airplane. These fucking machines are gigantic in the middle of a fucking snowstorm. So you get all these, you can barely see that shit happening. All you see is flashing lights. You got headphones like this to cover your ears from the turbines to not get shot. And you see this big ass truck just spewing liquid on the plane.
So what does that liquid do then?
It keeps it from freezing when it gets into those high speeds up in the air.
Yeah, I figured it was something like that. That's interesting.
It's coming to me.
That's all right, though, man. You know, it's all about figuring out what what's for you. You know, what your purpose is.
Your niche.
What you want to do, yeah.
Your niche, you know what I'm saying?
So you gotta explore. You know, you gotta experiment, try some things.
Yeah, it took me a while too. You know, like I feel like I'm starting to finally settle out with what I'm doing right now. I'm feeling comfortable with my life. You know, it takes a little while. Like you said you're 23. Exactly, bro. You're right there at the cusp. You know what I'm saying? Unless you feel like you've already figured, you know, what you was trying to figure out, for yourself. I can't say that because I'm not you, but
I think so. See, I keep trying to keep everything in a consecutive order as I talk about myself.
You're not trying to be all sporadic. Bro, that's me. I'm super sporadic. Like, so I'll be all over the place. I'll talk about one thing, get off topic, go over here. I'm like, oh, yeah, we got to get back over here.
I've been doing some studying. There's this guy on YouTube who's a professor of psychology, and he's also a video game playing nerd. And so what he's dedicated himself and his study to is to figuring out the common psychological problems that video game playing nerds have. And I'll admit, when I'm not doing physical activities, working out, or on some wild adventure, who knows where, I'll be home playing my video games in my little place of zen in some kind of fantasy world. I've always liked the fantasy and role-playing genres because they never, ever match real life. They'd always be just way exaggerated, way, fantastical.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my preferred genre of movies and video games. Just, just some absurd, abstract style of things.
Like science fiction, fantasy, or more like...
Both of them for sure.
He said he likes Zelda. Like, he's looking at my Zelda.
That's definitely one of my favorite ones, like, ever. I kind of consider myself similar to Link,
Me too.
Because he was just, in the Ocarina of Time, he was just lost little boy who got adopted. That's a similar word, but means completely different things. Holy
Straight up, yeah, they're like right there with each other. That's crazy.
got adopted by these forest people, and they loved him, they raised him, but he wasn't like them, so he had to move on. And once he did move on, he found out he's a very noble hero. He kind of saves the lands. I don't want to be a hero, but I feel very similar to that kind of, I don't fit in with the people who raised me and brought me up type of thing. I might just be bigger, and I might have the capacity to provide more than they can themselves type of deal. So I've always had this kind of like a weight on my shoulders that I'm always meant to be a lot more than I am. Which, despite all the video games, the martial arts, and the track and athleticism, I love that stuff too, because it definitely helps me contain myself, who I am as a person, and contain my energy. But when it comes to what we were talking about earlier, being a part of something bigger than yourself, to reach, I don't know, reach what? A proper form of contentness? Because you can never really be happy with just yourself. I don't think so.
I don't think
And so if you find yourself in a group or area or environment where you're providing and serving for a purpose bigger than yourself, then you, for some reason, psychologically, it just makes you feel better about your life and your state of being.
When you're around good people that you enjoy being around and doing stuff you actually like to do.
Exactly. It makes you feel synchronized.
Yeah.
Totally forgot what I was talking about earlier. Something.
Oh, you were talking about Link, or video games,
Oh, yeah.
and how Link played a role in your
Video
life
games and the
for
video
Zelda,
game
and you felt like
psychologist.
Link.
The video game psychologist. Yeah, because
Oh, yep.
apparently a lot of nerdy people, video game playing people have these similar issues. They could be like ADHD or not knowing how to socialize, or simply, they can't function their best in the real world. And I kind of related to that a little bit because I have had some phases when I was a teenager where I just forget about everything I cared about and all the people I talked to, and I just shut in and play a game for like a month or two and then forget everything. Come back out finding I'm kind of like awkward. Actually, you know what? I could say this happened recently, except it wasn't with video games. It was just general isolation with the pandemic. General isolation.
Dude.
And I come back into this world. I used to be very charismatic and confident with myself, and I'm luckily getting back into it since I'm stretching out my whims. But there was this moment after a period of being isolated for so long where you come back into the world and you can't like connect with people. You can't talk to them how you used to. And I'm finding that this is a really common problem now with people who just isolated during the pandemic, but people who have been playing video games most of their life, and then they reach a point where they gotta do something for themselves and face the world, but they have these massive social difficulties. I got a good amount of friends like this, and so this doctor, what he does is he researches people like that, and he's coming to find some answers on a lot of behavioral things. And right now, I can't think of a single one, which is fucking great.
He's like, I don't know what it was, but he's coming up with some shit, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I've talked about it before with him. I don't see video games as, as a waste of time at all. Because personally, I'm not. I mean, yeah, sometimes I'll play it mindlessly and just, to depress or whatever, decompress, just chill out. But, I'm always trying to learn something, trying to get from the game, trying to understand and have perspective and, kind of put myself in those shoes to truly understand, different perspectives. Because I think that's what it is. We talk about it a lot. Life is perspective. And just getting those perspective from video games, from movies, music, art in general, it's good. It's good to be diversified in thought and see different ideas and, how other people think and feel. Because it's we're all humans. We all go through this shit. And, people process it differently, So it's good to see how other people process it, how other people view this reality we're all in.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about perception, I learned about that one hardcore.
Let's hear it.
When I first moved out in 2018 and I started doing mushrooms,
Oh, yeah, it'll do it to you.
Yeah.
I spent a good 8 months doing mushrooms. I started off really low. I only did it once a month, by the way, just to keep myself safe and not go crazy. Started off pretty low and started getting gradual.
Mushrooms are a lot safer than like acid.
Oh, yeah. I only did acid once and I know enough to never do it again.
I've done acid so many times.
Holy shit. Man.
Well over 100.
Damn.
Mushrooms, huh?
That's what I could.
But yeah, for that 8 month,
Absolutely not.
8 month period mushrooms.
I was able to step out of myself for multiple times in my life, which was one of the greatest things in terms of, being able to reflect on what you've done, reflect on mistakes and failures or things that you feel bad about yourself, things that bring you down on your self-esteem, but also things that humble you, because I'll admit, I'm kind of an asshole. I was more of an asshole back then because I just didn't care about anybody, how they felt. Although I did care about people's way of expressing, I just didn't care about the person. And I was very good at expressing that. I still am today. I don't.
I'm pretty good at that too. I'm really like, if I don't like you, I don't like you, and I show it.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it was with everybody. I was just,
Okay.
maybe I was mad with myself, and it was a reflection. But then I realized that I stepped out of my shoes and into one of my closest friends' shoes because things were kind of falling apart with us. And I was like, what's going on here? He doesn't seem to be causing too much problems in my ends, but things are kind of falling apart. So I was like, first time in my life, am I the problem?
Dang.
Dun, dun.
So when it hit you, you came to that realization.
And then I had this like mushroom feeling where like a black hole either closed or opened in my heart, and I was like crumbling into myself.
Dang. Yeah, that's when it hits you sometimes, bro. Like, it really does. You know, it really makes you work some shit out that's really happening in yourself that you might not be paying attention to. I've worked a lot of stuff out through psychedelics, you know, and I used to feel like I used to abuse psychedelics.
Okay.
Like I said, I've done acid well over 100 times.
Was that like in a close period of time?
So check this out. I was doing acid probably for a good 5 months straight, 3-4 times a week. All the time.
Okay.
Like, I was always tripping. Like, I was going to work, I was tripping.
Holy shit.
Straight up. Like, I didn't drive, though, or nothing. So I didn't have to worry about, like, too much, like, you know, having to really handle certain shit, you know? So I was able to, like, be free. But it also drove me insane. It drove me to a point to where I realized I shouldn't be doing this all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I noticed how the fact that I was doing it all the time, I wasn't actually getting as much as I could from it. So,
yeah, I think I got to a similar point toward the end.
yeah, so I started fading back and just took it easy, you know. Then I would take a trip here and there, and I still do here and there. And the trips are a lot more impactful. You know, I learn more from them, and I actually grow a lot more from them. You know, and I just remember what really brought it to my mind. I remember reading this article. It was about mushrooms and how people use mushrooms, you know, to learn and to grow and develop themselves. They do the mushrooms, have the experience, come to a level, and they level out. And then they settle in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get to a level and then just jump to the next one right after that. You know, you got to kind of learn that level first.
Yep, absolutely.
You know, and what I was doing when I was doing psychedelics, as crazy as I
Or else
was,
you can't move on.
that's another thing. I got into this huge, like, tangle.
A loop?
Yeah, not like a loop. It's like a tangled experience with all my own experiences, like, tied to them, but not knowing what is going on with myself and being pulled all these weird different directions, you know, and finally coming to this realization. Now I'm able to, like, work out, you know, these kinks, and I'm not so pulled anymore. You know what I'm saying? I've learned a lot through it, but you know, it was a lot to go through during all of those periods.
What's over there?
But
Flip this.
I kind of forget where I was going with that. But
Threw him off. Oh no! You were being pulled in many directions, and you figured out how to choose one. I think.
exactly. And yeah, like I was saying, you know, just a little bit ago, like, I'm in a place where I'm starting to settle out in my life. You know, I'm starting to feel comfortable a little bit, but not, you know, like, I'm always looking to grow always, but I feel like I've gotten past that phase in my life where I almost didn't even have the strength because I wasn't fully there. You know, I couldn't be fully with myself a lot of the times because of a lot of that experience.
Because you were being pulled apart.
And psychedelics was a huge catalyst on that. I mean, my abuse of psychedelics, just me carelessly doing it all the time, not even trying to really, like, I would think about my experiences, but I wouldn't take them in fully. You know what I'm saying?
Processing.
And I would always try to be getting to the next thing. Like, oh, this is cool. Well, what else is there? You know, like, boom, 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 boom,
I
boom.
get you now.
You know, and I've learned to settle out. You know, and
one
Now-
realm at a time.
One step at a time, bro.
Okay.
It's all, it's even weird, bro, because Tai Chi too taught me that. Like, just how I was going about life. I was anxious and jumpy, and
Yeah, I feel that exactly.
you know what I'm saying? Like I was just all over the place. So, like, are you into shamanism at all?
You know, I know nothing about it, but I make jokes with my friends that because sometimes I say so much nonsense that the occasional 120% this makes more sense than anything else comes out type of deal. I always go on these rants. So I'm like, don't listen to me. I'm just a voodoo shaman. So that's all I know.
Just a brujo.
But shamans are very wise. So they're the keepers. They're usually the wisdom keepers of their village. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
And
that's what I've heard. That's the only thing I've heard when it comes to the tribalism aspect of it.
Curandero. That's the other one.
Yeah, that's like a shaman too. Exactly, just like healers. They're healers, and they have a different type of approach to things. So, in shamanism, they talk about how when what is it called? I can't think of it right now, but whenever you have experiences, good or bad, you lose a part of yourself to that experience. You know what I'm saying? So in shamanism, there's a practice. I can't think of the exact name right now. It's killing me. But it's about bringing these soul. Shit. It's about bringing these experiences back to yourself. Soul retrieval. Okay. And then you just learn to look at them differently, and heal from them and carry them with you, and you'll be able to become your whole self. So that teaching has been a part of what's also taught me,
So like therapy or doing psychedelics.
Exactly.
Ah, yes.
Like my life has become like a sort of therapy, like how I think and stuff, and
sure.
just my approach to things now.
Analytical view.
Exactly. Like it's crazy. I'm super creative, but I'm very logical about like my creativity. Bless you.
Perhaps like an engineer.
Exactly.
Architect of sound. That's what you do right there.
Yeah.
The master of ceremonies.
I'd say I like to build the spirit too. You know what I'm saying? The spirit of people, and you know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm working on right now, because I worked on building my own spirit.
Oh, sweet. What does that look like?
What, my spirit?
Working on your spirit.
What does it look like?
Yeah.
I mean,
In any sense.
it's who you want to cultivate and bring into this world, really. The essence of you. You know what I'm saying? What kind of essence do you want to generate?
So it's like that energy, that heart, the soul. These are all synonyms. That character of who you are, how you express yourself, as an inside and an outside thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's all connected, because there's a huge disconnect in the world, I feel like, at least, because people aren't truly being themselves. There's one way inside and then they're one way outside.
Yep.
So I forget where I was going with that, but
No, I get it. A lot of time, I think I kind of figured this out in middle school when I was starting to discover a lot of this creativity stuff. And I was talking to some people in art class. Some people are just scared that if they bring out that creative piece of them, the world will reject it because it's a unique thing to the world. And maybe it's just ugly. And that's the objective truth. It's possible. But the thing is, what I tell to those people, Shrek exists.
You ready to go?
That's a good ass movie. It's about ugly ass ogres with ugly ass mannerisms and lifestyles. And we fucking love it. You know what else exists? The Addams Family. Some just dark, vampiric, gothic, dreadful type of household family. That exists. Doesn't matter if it's pretty or ugly. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. If it's you, it's you. And there's probably people who enjoy that. Because there's a niche. There's a niche for everything, really.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta find it.
Some real shit, bro.
And everybody has a niche.
Yeah,
you know?
thank you for that.
Everybody enjoys what they like. Everybody loves
feel
it.
good. I think I've been wanting to say that for a long time, and this is literally the perfect outlet. Thank you guys. I really appreciate that shit right there.
Nah, that's some shit I feel like might help a lot of people.
On the soul work thing, that's another great connection. So my brain kind of like I know a lot of shit, but I don't consider myself until I understand that stuff, a topic, and I'm able to educate others on it in a dumb level of it and a highly spoken level of it. So most of the time I don't really say many things because I'm not there yet. However, when I connect things like spirit work and bringing out your outer expression, I'm in that beginning phases of that since I moved here, because I moved here to do exactly that. Because I was really just having a bunch of fun, living life with my friends, doing all these crazy things the last 4 years that we were roommates and living together and, you know, not being independent. So when I figured it out, when it really clicked to me, I was playing Monster Hunter World. I'm a fucking
That's a beautiful game. I love that shit. It's so
fucking
tight.
love Monster Hunter since 2004 on the PS2. That's how much I love that game. But World, oh my god, it changes everything. AAA platform, the graphics, the mechanics.
Bro, this shit's
Beautiful,
tight.
beautiful.
It's dope as fuck.
Why I love Monster Hunter World is not just because of the game itself, but every single game I've been playing since 2004 on the PS2, the community of players, the people, the hunters, everyone's so fucking great. They're all about it. They're all about that hunting mentality. We're in this together. We're going to get this shit done. And that's why I found a lot of myself in it too, because I was always this type of guy through those games. So I don't really play too many video games, despite my 600 game library on Steam. Except Monster Hunter, because I've always played that one. Like, I'll forget about any game and go on an adventure or some other shit like I always do, some athletic feat, and I'll come back to Monster Hunter. Because who I'm able to be through that game is this like charismatic, really strong, really resilient leader type of person. And then it clicked to me, like, literally probably like 3 months ago, it clicked. I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I can be that in real life, because that's a portrayal of me in a video game. It's still me. What if I did that shit in the world? That's why I tell you. That's why I want to support creative artists. People who are actually doing something to express themselves. That's how I work on my soul.
Exactly. You know, connecting with people, you know, that are on their own paths, you know, and learning new things, you know, or maybe have learned a whole bunch of different stuff and could teach you something, you know, and yeah, I look for that same stuff, you know, and I'm grateful I found my teacher, my Tai Chi teacher, because he's been helping me build myself, you know, this past 9 months.
How many of these can I do? All of them.
He's like, I can do all of them.
Pull it up. Do you guys usually go for an hour? Do you do 2?
We've never done 2.
We might do 2.
The wind's
yeah.
like,
We going deep.
another tail.
Like at least elbow.
Elbow is
At least. Minimum.
bare minimum.
It's your turn, man. Yeah, man,
Oh.
life's a trip, you know? It's an experience that, you know, you live and you learn. You know, you grow. We talk about it like it's, you know, evolution is happening in the real time. You know, we evolve constantly in the
Holy
moment,
fuck. See, for a while there, I thought humans stopped evolving like 2,000 years ago.
right?
But this here, Maybe.
That's I feel like that might be the problem. People think evolution stopped, so we just stagnate. Yeah, a lot of stuff, nothing big, creative, and next has really been happening lately. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I feel like we're losing that sense.
I don't know what you're saying. Actually, have you heard of virtual reality?
I'm not gonna be. I can't do stuff like that because it takes you away from reality. You know what I'm saying? Because like,
but that's the thing. It's different realities. That's the thing about it. That's the whole thing about it.
it could confuse you though. It can confuse people's minds,
Oh, yeah.
and if they get too wound up in that, who knows what extents it can go and what it could do on the brain.
And then that's the thing. That's what you said right there. Extents. Maybe that's more evolution. Maybe. See, okay, I'm also getting really high at this point, but I've been working on because I like to write a lot. That's my extension of continuing the fantasy worlds in video games and whatnot. Because I write the stories now that I experience and I continue with it. Nah, I'm good with the tequila. I was writing this story about two types of humans in the future that we evolved, different pathways. There's the really physical humans that continued with the working world, the mechanical world that runs things and produces things. And then there's the intellectual humans who are just all brain power, just energy, electric power, and they're kind of connected to like a matrix type of thing where they make all the intellectual, academic?
Where's that dictionary?
Academic, yeah, way of evolution, if that makes sense, where they kind of just separate human progression to an electric educational point with the brain, and then a physical, mechanical point with the body.
You know, I've had a theory through tripping and such that, like, purpose existed for reason. You know what I mean? Like, things had a purpose before it had a reason. You know, like, it had a use, a thing
There's no more
that
tequila.
came from it. No, it's Hennessy from here on out. Or, Twisted. But, you know, that, like, losing it.
Reason.
Reason.
Before
yes.
there was reason, there was purpose.
And, like, oh man, hold on. I forget. But, you know, I felt that though, and in general, you know, that reason existed before purpose. Or no, purpose.
Before reason.
Yeah, before reason. You know, because it's like logic, right? I mean, for something to be sentient, you know, like for us to think, like, look at something and say, oh, that's good, that's bad, you know, that's just us perceiving it that way based off of our experiences.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, essentially before all that, before we could perceive that, things just had a purpose. You know, it had a use. It did something.
Like rock and stick break
Exactly.
thing.
You know, like for us to evolve to have two eyes, right? It was useful. It made more sense than having one eye. You know, so that's
Jaguar in the
that's just
tree.
what it was, right? And good or bad, you know, that's what it is. And I think, you know, because we're humans, we tend to look at things in good or bad. But, you know, evolution is evolution. You know, it's the evolvement of what was to what is or what will be. And I think, you know, because we're humans and we see things in that sort of lens, you know, it's like, oh, that's bad evolution. That's, you know, not a good turn of events. But irregardless, you know, it is evolution. Sometimes it's, I guess, devolution, you know, devolvement.
Could
But,
be.
you know,
Back to caveman style like me.
barbarians.
You gotta go back to the roots, though. That's how you grow.
So I was reading. Oh, this is great. Another connection. I've been reading a lot into Carl Jung and his
Yeah, he's tight.
and his iterations on the psychology. And this one guy described integrating the dark side, which is something I've been looking into with my entrepreneurship, because it turns out the sales world is fucking cutthroat savage shit. You kind of need to do that.
Super cutthroat.
Oh yeah,
It's the way of the merchant profits.
So I'm like, you know what, this could be useful. And this one guy described it. So the roots that keep you grounded are what's tapped into the dark side, because under the surface is nothing but the darkness and all that. You know, you could be moral about it and call it evil and bad, or you could not have moral and just, you know, say dark. Outside of light, what's outside of light? Caves. I'm not going to go into that. I'm going off trail here. And so what's in the light side, the tree, the branches outward to the eternal growth of your progression. And so both of those is a balance. Because if you look at a tree, like the anatomy of a tree, it's literally the same size as it is on top and the bottom, the roots. They're kind of spread out wide. It's pretty neat.
Interesting. I never kind of thought about that. That's like symmetrical.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Exactly.
different.
You could even call it yin yang.
Straight up.
There's other words. I mean, it's just playing good and the evil. You know, all humans innately have the capacity to do bad, but we also have the capacity to do good. And it's all at the end of the day a choice. Why not balance it out?
It is all about balance, you know.
It is.
You really do gotta balance. Find that median. Cause yeah, I don't know. That's life.
Yeah, man. You got to kind of bring it all together yourself, you know, because it's going to all happen. It's going to all come at you, whatever you want to look at it, good, bad. You missed that.
Like starting on the next one already.
Skipping a step. Don't skip your steps.
How long you been making music?
So, I started making music first thing when I was 12.
Hell yeah.
Then I started like freestyling around when I was like 16. He's the first dude I was like really freestyling and rapping with all the time. He's the first one who started actually doing it with me.
Oh, hell yeah.
My man MNG.
I want to hear your stuff now.
Yeah. Like right now.
Let's go.
He's like right now.
This be the M to the N to the seventh letter forever. Only never to be more clever. Whether I'm hot or not, my flow will hop to the top. With intricate skill, my dreams I fulfill. My passion is real. It gives me a thrill to know that my will has potential to make a meal hot ill. Never gonna fall, always gonna be on top of it. Tired of these rhymes, keeping it monotonous. I know you wanna go and copy this, try bitch. Oh, you'll end up in a pond sleeping with a fish. When I dish it up, so wits all their feelings don't fit this hit. Cause a bit resonates to the pit, making you wanna never quit. Let it be, that my flow so sickly. Let it keep rising through the ranks so quickly. Believing haters' heads on sticks for the world to see. That ain't that nice of me.
All right. Blew my
my dude.
expectations. You know, that's what I love about this city, man. That's exactly why I moved here, too. Because, you know, not everyone, 99% of people in the mountains, fucking boring as shit, bro. My standards for people and their qualities is pretty high. That's also another reason why I'm an asshole, apparently, to some people's eyes. Because they just didn't impress me, so I treated them in unimpressionable ways. But honestly, I've met a lot of people in the city still that are like that way, unimpressionable. But then there's you guys and there's other people I've met recently who are like straight up quality people who know what they're doing, have the talent, have the skill. Hell yeah.
That's what it's about, man. You know, I don't believe, you know, anything's overnight. You know, nothing's overnight. It's all a process.
10,000 hours.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I started like really when I was like 16 freestyling, and then I didn't really start recording until I was about 18. And I don't know if you started recording with me at the same time.
If it was that Matt's.
It was like around the same time.
I mean, you did a little bit on your phone and shit, but
Well, yeah, I did. I did do a little bit on my phone, but that wasn't like legit recording. I never thought about starting a studio or nothing like that. My homeboy Matt was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get the equipment, bro, and we could just record this shit ourselves." And I was like, "Damn." And he did that shit. He did that shit.
Sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know nothing. I don't do nothing. And then I remember, hold on, that's not my voice. That's just the haters echoing in my head. I've done a lot of shit. For example, I started DJing and I had a mentor at 15. Holy fucking hell. I really want to get back into that this summer. Maybe I'll be able to like rent some gear, play at some events and whatnot. But when it comes to music and the musical talent, I'm pretty good at mixing music. I would like to produce some music, but all the equipment, I know how to read it because I've got this like, I don't know. I'm just good with the electronics, really. I'm sure you guys, one of you guys here has built a computer or something like that.
I haven't.
No? What?
No.
This guy, you look like you built a computer.
I probably could, but I haven't.
Huh.
I'm not too
too
technological smart.
Yeah, I know it's not too hard at all. It's like clicking shit together.
Just like this.
Yeah.
I got all this equipment. Just pop. Zip.
Yeah, you know.
Most things are actually
Takes
pretty
time.
simple if you
Sure,
know how to
YouTube
do
video
it.
could-
Where
If you know how to
things
learn,
go.
you can learn how to do
Yeah.
something. Exactly. It's
Exactly.
not too hard.
If you know
I
how to
think
learn.
that's kind of how most males work.
That's, you know, I dream for the day that's how all humans work. You know,
If it works, it works.
you know, they want to learn.
Learn it. Figure it out. Exactly.
Lifelong learners.
Exactly.
real.
Students forever. That's what I was telling you about trying to get to earlier when I was talking about the martial arts. And I forgot what you were saying. It might have been the spirit work thing, but like it's just an eternal process of learning. You know, I'm a student till I die. I keep trying to have a point, and then I don't have a point at all.
But you're saying a lot.
Do you
I
know
am
the Book of
saying
the
a
Five
lot.
Rings?
Say it again?
The Book of the Five Rings.
No.
Miyamoto Musashi.
I know that guy.
So I know that guy.
Called the Book of the Five Rings. But essentially, it's just about his, it's about strategy really, but it's a beautiful book in general.
He got to it before me.
Yeah, it's really good.
He had another book. It's called The Dakota, The Way of Walking Alone.
Do you read much?
Used to. I am in debt to reading because I bought a bunch of books, haven't touched a single fucking one of them.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, be like that.
That's why I've been trying to read them.
It got weird though. Like I was doing so good in 2019, building up myself of the skill sets that I thought I needed to start building a business. And then the pandemic happened and just fucking derailed me entirely, psychologically. All right, hold on. If we're getting deep here, I guess I gotta be more specific and honest about it. I lost 2 best friends and like 3 girlfriends that I was dating at the same time.
He said, I had 3 girlfriends.
I really liked one of them though, so that was the one that really impacted me a lot, even despite the infidelity. It's just I took some fucking big L's the last 3 years. Holy shit. Careful. And then that kind of put my life and my mental progression on a pause. And I feel like I'm kind of was stuck there when I moved there. And then when I moved here, I started, actually looking into myself again, I guess. Trying to figure out what's going on in my head, what I feel bad about, what's hurting me, and trying to move on with that stuff so I can continue with the things I enjoy. So I kind of feel like I'm not 23, but sometimes I feel like I'm 20 or 16. Maybe do. Oh, he messed it. That's all right. It lasted a good 90 minutes?
I don't know about that long.
That's what I've come out to find. We were talking about earlier how some people don't move on to the next level because of fear of getting the rejection or being rejected through ugliness of their expression and whatnot. This could be another part of that. Trauma.
Trauma is huge, bro.
Trauma's real.
You guys got some water?
No, just
I can get you a glass of water if you like.
Twisted Teas and Hennessy. Sorry.
What a morning. That's the life, though.
I'll be
when
right
you
back.
It's the
right?
breakfast of champions.
Not everybody can do this right here.
No, they can't. This is forbidden fruit.
So you've been doing music most of your life too?
I mean, I did like a lot of poetry and stuff when I was younger, like in 5th grade and stuff. And,
All right.
But I mean, I also did. You know, I always loved rap, and I always like, you know, kind of wrote raps, like especially like in 5th grade and stuff. But I never was really like serious about it until, you know, Angelo started like freestyling with us, and we were really, you know, doing it. And you know, then Matt got the studio and stuff, and then, you know, we can go over there and record and actually make songs and stuff. So it was different. You know, it's pretty cool. And that really got me into it. And then the performing aspect of it, and going out with the boys and just doing a show. It's all fun.
Exactly. I like to tell people whatever I'm doing doesn't matter so long as I'm having fun. That's all that matters. And really, if you're having fun, you're usually in a good mood enough to perform whatever it is you're trying to do in an efficient way. If you're going for entertainment, which is usually my thing. He went to the bathroom with this and came back.
It's laced with love.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, because my kitchen sink, the cold water doesn't work for some odd reason. I don't know.
I get it though, man. We're all just starting. Listen, it's a good thing to be humble. Because honestly, a lot of people on social media, all they care about is, you know, the best parts of your life and what looks the best too. Because that's what we see on the social medias. But in reality, everybody starts off in an uncomfortable, sometimes a little bit dirty, maybe a little bit cluttered, maybe a little bit too small, or just generally old, weary building. If they're in a city, if they're in a small town like I was, you know, it's probably like a small, same fucking description house. Doesn't matter. Everybody starts somewhere. But where you get to, that's what matters. And I enjoy being public with what I start with, because the people we see on social media most of the time, all we're seeing is what they ended up with. Come on, where's the reality on that? Let's bring some more reality to the medias, huh?
Yeah, man. People are just out here, you know, projecting certain images because they don't want people to see certain stuff.
That's what I've been dealing with a lot lately. I've come to find out. So luckily, I haven't been such a jumpy, energetic squirrel like I mostly was through my younger teenage years. At one point, I was blaming it because I had ADHD. I mean, I kind of do, but honestly, I have a decent control over it. What I've come to find out maybe is like I was just generally anxious or excitable. You know, generally a lot of my inner hormones or chemicals in my brain were just like way riled up. And so I behaved in this really jumpy, spazzy, sporadic, I said spazzy already, way, you know, just jumping all over the walls, talking really fast, saying a bunch of nonsense, trying to be funny for no reason. Which I kind of find out isn't really who I am, but rather like just a response of being afraid of being disliked. But then, you know, I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't care if people don't like me. I've got my purpose, and I've got my decisions and my goals and my priorities that I'm focusing on. That shit matters to me more than people liking me, so I'm just gonna act how I am. Turns out I'm not that much of an asshole as I thought I was, and turns out I'm not as much of an annoying, jumpy squirrel spaz maniac as I thought it was. Luckily, I can be composed, talk about some deep shit, attend some proper meetings with some proper people, and, you know, make some things actually happen when I put some effort into my lifestyle. Who would have thought?
Right?
You did.
You know, anything's possible, man. You know, nothing's impossible. You know, it's never too late to change, ever.
I definitely say it. I like to think that way too. I also like to say that the word can't is a choice. But, you know, there's also the objective realities, like if you're missing an arm or two arms, you can't pick things up. But, you know, in the figurative sense of things, it's meant to be motivational. What are we doing here?
Down to play some 21? Blackjack?
We're playing games.
Yep.
Okay.
Playing games.
Playing games. Yeah.
I got no idea. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm very crossfade. But I'm also pretty clear in my brain that I'm able to talk about things that I care about and have been thinking about a lot, which is pretty surprising. That's pretty cool. Boom. Bam.
That's what this is for. You know what I'm saying? So we could share ourselves. You know how to play 21?
No idea.
Essentially, you're just trying to get to 21. With the number of cards you have and stuff. Queens, kings, jacks, are all 10s. Aces are 11 or a 1. And then, essentially just trying to get 21. If you get over 21, you bust. If you have under 21 and you want another card, it's hit. Or if you don't want anything else and you think you're good, just take a stand. Hit.
Sweet.
We could do both games.
Hit. I agree.
I'm gonna hit as well.
Damn. I busted.
Well,
Bust.
okay. Well, then I got 14. Cool. That works.
And now, I'm going to let my brain go blank. And the first notable subject to come up to my mind, that's what I'm going to talk about. Okay. Once I moved to Denver, and most of the people continued to behave in kind of like soft, don't offend me or I'll make a deal about it manners, I'm like, you know what? I think this state is too fucking soft to me. Because sometimes I want to be an asshole and I want to make fun of people and not even just make fun of people. When people act in bullshit manners, I want to call it out for the sake of them trying to see their own bullshit and maybe adjust their ways, because that's kind of how I adjusted my ways, people calling me out on my bullshit and whatnot. But apparently we can't do that shit no more these days. Not in a small town, not much in a big city, so it must be the fucking state, or is it me? I gotta get the fuck out of the state, that's what I'm saying.
It might just be people in general lately. People are getting to a point where it's like sensitive,
Entitled to?
Entitled, yeah, man, just everyone's feeling some type of way.
Yeah, it's a different time. People are definitely, super sensitive. A lot more. Yeah, it's weird, But I mean, all you can do is just do what you do, live your life. But yeah, definitely, it is interesting though seeing how people react sometimes. Because I mean, it's the year 2022, man. People are still so, stuck back in Stone Age and shit. Like, for real, And I mean, you're fine to believe what you want to believe.
Half the people didn't learn how to deal with themselves, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big deal.
No doubt. And people look for ways to, make sense of it all. Kind of like, crutch. Ways to help people understand reality and makes it make sense for them. And that just makes sense. That's just what we are as humans. We want to understand it. We want to make sense of it all. And whatever helps us do that, it's a bonus.
Yeah, some people just, I don't know, sometimes.
I believe that's sort of what happened to me. Hit when I moved here. Because it was the first time I was fully by myself.
Hit.
And independent. And then I started to face my own bullshit.
Say hit both of you?
Yes. Like, just straight up, I started to see where my faults were as a roommate to myself, as well as friend.
Bust.
Sweet. Hit.
Well, you won, technically.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, sweet.
Because we both busted already. So you don't even need that card.
Boom. And then I started to go crazy a little bit because I'm like, Man, what is my problem? I'm trying to figure it the fuck out. I kind of split into 3 personalities. Or maybe I was already that way and I had just realized it. And then I'm like, all right, we got to fix this shit. Try to synchronize who I am as a person living by myself and how I behaved and how I held and maintained my responsibilities, which were always required of me despite having been an adult and being moved out for 3 years prior to 8 months ago. I forgot where I was going. I'm just trying to say I got really fucking humbled on my bullshit personality traits when I moved by myself and there was nobody else to blame my
Straight
shit
up.
on. I think so. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
No, that's some real shit, bro. I went through. I'm kind of going through that same thing right now, and yeah, everybody's always trying to just not
Shot.
take accountability.
The ball.
Everybody's not trying to take accountability.
I'll load it.
That's the thing. Exactly.
That's a big.
People don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to take on responsibility, and they feel entitled to more than what they have without doing anything for it. And I felt that
True.
way too at one point, but I'm like, this ain't getting me anywhere. So I adjusted that pattern in my way, and I'm continuing to do so because
Exactly.
you know the bullshit personality traits, they don't just disappear in 1 month or one night. Take some consistent effort. I've never been good with consistency in anything in my life.
Ah.
This?
Whose turn is it?
How do
You
I do
shuffle.
this?
You gotta shuffle.
I'm trying to take a hit from that pipe.
All right, well, you shuffle that. And I'll load it up. Is it my turn or whose turn is it? Yeah.
On this,
Yeah.
I think it's my turn actually.
Okay. Get creative with it. Just freestyle it.
What, the shuffle?
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Fuck.
What?
That's what I've been doing with my life. I've been getting creative with it, freestyling it.
I've been thinking about that. I thought about this shit initially in like stalking. So you be seeing some stupid ass shit. Do you work at King Supers or where you at?
I work with King Supers.
Okay. Well, in general, I'm sure you probably see. I don't know if you ever seen it, but I know you might have seen it. Just some bad stalking. People just dropping shit wherever they could, just to get it on the shelf so they can move on to the next box. But I've been saying like people out here just freestyle stalking and shit.
That's funny. Just putting shit wherever they want.
Yeah, it's getting real creative.
I'm a stand.
I'm so lost right now.
Freestyle stalking. People who just stalk
I'm
shit
pretty
wherever.
high.
Plugging.
He's like, and I want to hit that pipe.
I'm pretty kind of tipsy too.
Maybe.
Damn.
I'm good though.
You feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I feel it. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Coming on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bust through the wall.
For real. Reminds me of that time when we were talking about something busting through the wall, but it'd be like
Alien.
the alien flying surfing on a flying saucer, busting through the wall. I don't remember what the whole subject was, but yeah, busting through the wall, it would be an alien flying on, or surfing on a flying saucer.
How would you react to that? If an alien just busted the wall on a flying saucer?
That's the question, right? That was the
Right
question.
Right there, just it doesn't have to be a big one. Just a small saucer right through this corner.
A small alien.
A small alien, just like what the fuck? I wouldn't
Yeah,
say
bro.
shit. I would just wait to see what happens.
I would too. Yeah, I wouldn't know what to say. I'd be like, yo.
It's watching him.
And then if he just sits there for a while, I'd be like, yo, bro, what you doing in my house?
Ready to,
Like, you
ready
gonna
to
fix that
escape.
shit or what?
Like, you got some technology that could just like poof.
Reverse
Yeah,
damages.
straight up.
Bro, I'm gonna need to get your insurance.
You got insurance for that saucer, bro? I think I was mentioned in some something trippy before we started this. Oh man, is this coming to me?
Hit me, whoever. You hit me.
I destroy you.
Do I hit again or do I stand? So many options.
You should probably stand if you're indecisive.
Is that right?
Yeah, it sounds like you were thinking to hit me at first, and then stand was the second choice. So whenever I feel like I'm like
But
I
you're
have like
standing? Okay, well then I'm definitely gonna hit.
alright, you're gonna bust. Watch this.
Maybe.
Watch this. This is Shen Lo's law.
Hit me.
Shen Lo's law. The broken choice.
Holy shit!
Son of a bitch.
The broken choice law. You busted it.
Yeah, it's 25.
See? I told you.
19, 20,
Pay
21.
me.
Oh,
Shen Lo's law. The broken
you
choice.
got.
I got
Oh,
18.
you got 21.
Pay
Damn,
me.
yeah, he got it.
Pay me.
He got that shit. Shen Lo's law, the broken choice. I'm telling you, it's real.
Choice.
It's real. Whenever cause, all right, I always feel like, usually if I have a choice to make, right, and I feel split-minded about that choice, I just don't do it. Because if I feel all the way through with it, then it's for sure supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? I can feel that inside me. But I've noticed that when I do stuff that I'm like indecisive about, I wish I wouldn't have done it in the end.
Interesting.
It's just a pattern I've noticed in my own life, my lifetime.
No doubt. I can see that.
But that's what I say. That's what I call it. I'm gonna call it the broken law.
Whose turn is it now? Is it your turn? I'm not sure.
I don't think I can relate.
Yeah, see? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just what happened to me. So that's how I kind of operate my, like, navigation. If I feel indecisive about something,
It ain't it.
it ain't it. Straight up.
Because sometimes when I feel indecisive, I'm like, you know what? I think if I go against my own will, this is the better indeed. Because then I think about the greater good or whatever greater narrative is navigating me. 'Cause sometimes I like to function outside of my own choice because I'm all for the chaos and the spontaneity still. So long as I know how to maintain myself and my health, really, that's all that matters. If I can keep myself sane and healthy through whatever wacky circumstance I get involved in, I'll be all right. Because you know what? I'll be able to tell the story afterwards. And that shit's always fucking fun. And like I said, I'm always for the fun.
You gotta live it up, man.
Also, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Just tie it in a knot. You're trying to go 2 hours.
It's just a quick number one. A refill?
He said tie the knot. And you get that refill when you go to the bathroom, I guess.
I'll be right back.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
You go this way.
Don't unleash the beast, please. Or I guess you can if he's.
It's a bit of an obstacle course around here, I know.
Yes. Well, especially for that dog, if he really gets out.
Finesse.
Finesse.
Oh, I'm just gonna go anyway, because I don't know who it was.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who's.
There you go.
You keep freaking getting. 2 games is something else. Even on the last game, I don't know if we were having the right order.
Yeah, I don't even know. We're just going now.
Oh, yep. Now we wait. Now we wait. We could take this shot, though.
Yeah, you wanna take a shot real quick?
Let's do it. To greatness and prosperity.
Throughout the multiverse.
into infinity.
We definitely got to see that Doctor Strange.
Yeah, let me know. I'm off tomorrow too.
Woo! Damn, that was spicy.
You work tomorrow.
Yeah, well, tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah, we might have to do it sometime next week. I'll have to check my schedule.
No.
I'll let you know.
I mean, yeah, I gotta stay late. I gotta get some hours.
No, I feel that, bro. Yeah. You had that little break, so you're like, I gotta get back. We gotta get this money.
And I don't even know, man. They're supposed to send me like some shit in my emails, like fill out some paperwork for leave or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, I gotta get back on it, back on the grind. I think we talked. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the cast last week, but it's just interesting getting back in the groove, and getting back into it because like the COVID and everything, and I was out for. I mean, it was just one work week, which for me is just 4 days, but it's still getting back into it like because I was essentially just chilling in bed, staying upstairs. I mean, I had to go take Memo home and stuff, go out to eat certain things, order some food, but I wasn't really doing much, especially compared to like what I typically do. Just like walking all night, lifting boxes, opening boxes, throwing trash, walking around, moving, doing a lot of different stuff. So yeah, I was interested in getting back into the groove, but that's what it is. It feels a lot better now, being like another week after it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's always fun, always something different. Like last night I was on I think I was sounding in Frozen Dairy, so that was fun. I really don't mind Frozen Dairy. I mean, I'm young too. It's kind of a thing, but it's not bad to me. I mean, it's cool, especially at night. You run around and shit and get all hot. It's nice and cool.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I like being in the fridge at my job.
And cooler and shit.
Yeah, because it gets all nice and balanced.
That's where you chill out.
Straight up.
Yeah.
So he's the security dude, so he'd be doing rounds through the whole place.
I just looking like this.
I walk like this.
That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. Literally. Not because I don't want to, but because I literally can't do anything the fuck else about any illegal
Call the cops.
or suspicious
Call
matter.
you.
All
Call
I
the
can do
cops.
is just
Just look.
Observe and report.
That's crazy.
let me tell you, it sucks. It really sucks because back home, every security company I was with, every contract, you could actually do something about a problem you were facing in the immediate moment. And then the problem would be solved. Not once did you have to wait for somebody's approval or cops to show up to get the shit resolved. By the time any police shows up, that shit's already, over.
All the gods.
Yeah, for real. They're here like 15 minutes late.
The best part is, though, it pays really great. Like, fucking yes. Like, amazing, actually. And I get to work on myself. Or just, like, F off and not do shit.
So, who you with Securitas?
Huh?
Who you with Securitas?
They're called Denver Metro Protective Services.
Information, everything that I can as much as possible.
And you been with them long?
I'm like, all right,
Just
enough
since
learning.
January.
Time to
4 months.
apply what I
5
know
months? What
into
month
what
is
I
it?
can do, which is what wisdom means, is knowledge applied.
That's lit.
I forgot where I was going with that.
That's lit.
What did you
5
say?
months, huh?
At the
So you
last
done
part
the
of your
security though before? And
Been doing it for a while.
nice.
This is certainly the most boring company.
Do you have to do daily reports and stuff
Every hour when I'm on the shift.
every hour?
Every hour? That's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Not really. You just,
Is it digital? Or?
You're like, what else am I doing? You're like,
I just say, didn't do anything.
I think that might be good.
Nothing's changed. Click, click. That's it. Takes like 2 minutes.
It's changed.
Until something happens, then you gotta be super detailed about how
What?
much nothing happened.
Damn.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I used to do security too, with like Securitas. Yeah, it was just like a residential high rise, just mainly access control, mainly overnight. Yeah, it was interesting.
Another tale.
It is what it is.
It's a funny industry. Sometimes it pays really good though. So it's like kind of exploitable when you're trying to work on other projects and not drain your energy with your work.
Definitely. Yeah, because you just do a lot of sitting and watching.
Exactly, a whole lot of nothing. Saving your energy for the other stuff you're trying to do. For example, I've been working out like a lot, which is pretty great because I spent a lot of the last 3 years sitting on my ass and not being active. When in reality, I do consider myself kind of an athlete because that's when I feel mostly at my best, when I'm being athletic and moving around. And then I graduated and stopped doing all the shit I like.
I know it kind of happens that way, sort of. At some period, you know, you like, kind of stop doing certain stuff, and you're like, "What the fuck am I doing with myself?"
Sometimes you gotta stay the way you are. You gotta keep some of the important traits of yourself and not sacrifice them for something like a job.
Straight up.
Speaking about jobs, all right, hold on. I was talking about that at the beginning, and then we went in on it. I've also been a mechanic. I learned a good amount about how to work on cars and fix and all that stuff and keep the maintenance up. So I got a good understanding about those things. My favorite job was certainly when I was a limousine driver because I got to meet a lot of really important business people. And luckily, I don't know, maybe I just got such a... I like to believe, but then I doubt myself, that I have a charismatic attitude, that I'm able to talk to most people and then have good conversations like we've been having here for a good amount of time.
I heard that charisma is the language of the world.
For sure. And so I'm able to talk to these highly successful business owners, some of them like millionaires, maybe even billionaires, I wouldn't even know. But they know shit to be at that level, and I was able to have good conversations with them, have exchanged good amounts of information, philosophy or intellect or ideas. So I'm pretty thankful for that time. I was also paid like really fucking amazing amounts of money to the point where I made the most money ever in a single winter season on the winter of 2021 and 2019, which allowed me to move out here to purchase this little studio home and the car I have right now. And then because I was 21 years old, I also spent all that money and more that I didn't have, got my ass into debt, which is where I'm at right now. But I remember, and I gotta honor myself, that I'm able to talk to like almost anybody, which is fucking amazing. And I should really continue with that little skill set of mine right there, especially if I'm gonna dive into the business world. I want to get a tattoo like right here. If you see on cardboard where there's the dotted lines and it says cut here, that's what I want.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty nifty.
The thing is, Colorado had its effect on me and made me a little bit soft. So I got to get back to this asshole-ish mentality and just kind of assert myself, step my foot, just be that tough salesman, businessman. I know I'm capable of it, but I haven't been in those shoes for so long that I'm scared to get back into it.
No doubt. It'd be like that. It's about just getting back into the groove. But, I think also we make it so much bigger, like beasts in our head. We like to think that it's different or it's so much, harder than it really is. But it's, if it's stuff we've done before, it's got to do it. Let's get back in the groove, get back to it.
Straight up.
Hell yeah.
Saddle up.
Saddle up. Enjoy the ride. Let's go, motherfuckers. I think it's your turn, Dre. It's Jenga. Jumbling Tower.
Dre Eternal.
Fuck, what was it?
I started streaming
Oh, did you?
on Twitch
Like, you really?
when I moved here. However, the sales job I had back then got me way too over my head and overestimated myself. So I purchased like the highest speed internet, and I bought the most expensive microphone and camera and the software subscription. And then I didn't make the money in the sales job. So I had to sell my camera and my microphone and then cancel that subscription because I wasn't performing in the sales job. And then I kept getting into debt. But I keep snapping. I'm pretty fucking high right now. It's one of them ticks.
Oh, wait.
It's definitely something I'm interested in. I definitely want to continue making some YouTube videos, maybe, because I do have one of them GoPros. I think it's a 7, but it's still pretty high quality. Because I do get up to some, I still keep in touch with that spontaneous, spastic side of myself, but only when I have free time. That's what I tell myself, to think I have organization and control over my daily habits these days, as I face responsibilities, which is crazy to think about. But when I do let loose and whatnot and go find some crazy antic to get involved in, you know, I would like that shit to be recorded, edited, and produced onto YouTube, because it could certainly be very entertaining. That's something I want to get into some more this year, perhaps.
It's like content creation.
Because I definitely I got into film classes in high school as a sophomore, and I just kept up with it throughout. And I guess my peers and my teachers definitely made note that I had like this script writing, storytelling, filmography talent. And then as I look at the things I've made, I'm like, you know what? This shit comes straight from my heart. And I believe that whenever you create something that comes and expresses straight from your heart, that's one of the most beautiful artistic renditions. And so that's definitely something I would like to get into, see if I can continue with it for sure. Would be nice.
See, my first mixtape, straight from my heart.
Sorry, man.
Is that what it's called?
No. It's just
where it
that's
came
how
from.
it felt. That's where it came from. Yeah.
Okay.
You know. And then I started getting more technical, more creative, and now I'm like at a point to where I'm more artistic. You know what I'm saying?
And professional.
And professional. I've developed a certain like approach to my music now after so much of just working at it, you know what I'm saying? And then seeing other people, what really works for other people, but also, you know, knowing how I can apply myself and work things for myself. And then mixing all this knowledge, and now I'm like, man, I just need an engineer. Once I get like an engineer and a good like sound quality, 'cause that's what I need. It's just that sound quality. Once I have that sound quality, I know I could blow up. Because I got the skill and I got the drive. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
You got what it takes.
yeah, and music's a huge part of me. So I'm like, yeah, I just need a fucking engineer because I don't know that part of it. So,
And then Dre shows up.
aw, shit.
So I like to consider myself, I'm not religious, but personally, to who this guy right here is, I believe in all gods. I believe they all exist. And so I have a respect for them. However, the God that brought me into this world and has bestowed me with the blessings is, I'm not going to get religious here, but it's just me right here, is Jesus. Because of the way my mom, my grandpa, and our family has been brought into this world, so that's the religious connect to it. However, there was a period in my life where I was like, disassociated with all that stuff. So I started getting into paganism and mythology and several different world religions, which is why I do also believe in all the gods and pay my respects to them, but separate the connections. So this right here is the symbol of Odin, which represents wisdom and all that stuff, like wisdom, knowledge, and better knowing. And so I've always found myself somebody who's got like a brain that just works like a sponge, always absorbing just all the information I can, learning as much as I can from people and knowledge and just information, everything that I can as much as possible. And then I'm at a point where I'm like, all right, enough learning, time to apply what I know into what I can do, which is what wisdom means, is knowledge applied. I forgot where I was going with that part right there. What did you say again? At the last part of your sentence.
Do you remember?
Holy shit, we're lost.
In deep.
Fuck.
Shit.
What did I say?
We gone.
Well, you know, I think that might be a good note. And
Fuck. I was about to say some shit too.
you forget it too?
I had some shit to say. I was like, damn.
It's guess I might just have to wait for another day.
It
It wasn't
might.
meant to be.
It might be. It might. I guess so.
It's a pleasure for another
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 episode. Another adventure. Another tale.
Let's go.
Thanks again for coming, man.
Wrapping up.
Really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it's good to be here.
Hell yeah, man. Love to have you
Boom,
back.
boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Lights out.
Sure, turn. Thank you all for watching. Like, share, subscribe.
Peace.
Tell your friends. Until next time.
Yeah, much
No
love. Another tale from the deep.